Hello, I'm Tim Wilde, and I'm going to give you my wild thoughts on Prey on Hulu. It's not Prey on Hulu, but Prey, the show that's now on Hulu. Came out today, this morning. It was the prequel to Predator. Technically, it's more of a prequel to Predator 2. Predator 2 being the sequel to Predator 1, obviously, but this has a little more connection with that than anything else. But this movie has had I've only seen a couple of impressions or reactions on social media. I haven't looked too much, and I don't look at reviews. I don't know Rotten Tomato scores. I don't care about any of that stuff anyway. But I don't look at too much or anything before I give my thoughts on it. I just finished it, and I gotta say, I really liked it. I think this is, I'm not gonna give a full list here, but this is probably third or fourth, maybe fourth, my favorite Predator movie. And just being this throwaway thing that I didn't hear about this until I saw a trailer like 2 weeks ago. Like, there was not a lot of promotion for this, and I don't really pay attention to trailers anyway. Maybe there was a little bit more. But this got me really excited immediately because I felt like it went back to a more intimate one-on-one encounter with a predator fighting someone, and it was historical. It was a period piece with a Native American Indian, whatever you're supposed to call them. I don't know. But it went back to a tribe out on the frontier dealing with animal rights and slaughtering a buffalo and dealing with prejudice against white men and their other savages and all this stuff. Just living off the land, and their interaction and their communication with or connections with nature, with the animals and wildlife, how they feel about hunting and all that stuff. There are a lot of those themes. I love the name Prey for this show. I'm an idiot. I didn't think about that until after I saw the first trailer. I forgot that the show, the first movie is called Predator, and this is Prey. Predator and Prey, and she's the prey, but, then she becomes a predator. Whatever, that whole dynamic becomes kind of important in the story. And I'm not going to give any spoilers. I'm just going to say just some general impressions. I really liked a few things. It's not perfect. There was a few things wrong with it. And when I say wrong, I just mean like, okay. And there was a little cheesiness. Some of the fight sequences were like, okay, a little over the top. Some of them were... there was some of the character. I don't know about characters. I don't know. Just some of the things that happened were a little cheap and goofy, but it's just cheesy. That's okay. This is a Hulu one-off movie. It's like an anthology story, and I would tell you what, I would love for them to continue doing more of these. Just an encounter with an isolated encounter, not a big spread of a franchise. Like the first movie led into the second movie, where the special agents were doing research or whoever they were. On the first Predator with Arnold, and then after that you had, and Donald Glover had his adventure, killing the one alien, and then movies after that there was always like one girl that they picked up, or someone from some tribe or whatever, and even in the first movie that knew something about some horror stories of their people about the Predator and the lands in times before. This is just one of those stories. I don't think this is the initial story, because at the beginning of this movie she says in the narration that there was a monster that came before. I don't know. Maybe this isn't the first Predator. I gotta tell you, this Predator was pretty sloppy. He was effective. He was an efficient killer and everything. But when you look at this Predator's tactics and strategies and everything compared to Predator, the first movie, he spends a lot more time on the ground. And there's not as many trees all over the place, but there's plenty. He's not as quiet, or he makes himself, even while camouflaged and invisible, he makes himself a lot more involved. He interacts with people. He comes up to people even when he's not making a kill. He is more he's not exploring. He's just trying to figure things out. He's trying to gather information in a different way than the first Predator or any of the other Predators. They kept to themselves, and they didn't reveal themselves until they were ready to kill you. This one seems to like get up in your face, and he's willing to either reveal himself to a big group of people he's about to fight, or he's just going to kill one and move on, or just one person that he's like prowling. In the first movie, no one interacted with the Predator until they were about to die. Even Arnold he didn't see it until the very, very, very end. But all this gathering of information and everything that it's doing is a little bit different. Hunting little animals and critters. He kills a snake and he fights some other things. All that stuff was all symbolic, again, of the theme of the Predator Prey. And there's this whole thing about a bait versus a hunt, all this stuff. Setting traps. There's a lot of little concepts in there that are kind of cool as they're trying to problem solve, figure out what to do with other situations not even involving the Predator, but then involving the Predator. So it's foreshadowing, but it's cool. It was really good. Beautiful cinematography. There was some really cool shots of this, and this is the ugliest Predator they've ever shown, including those weird wolf aliens in Predators. This was, I don't know, this thing was goofy looking, and it had a cool mask. I'm not going to spoil anything or describe anything, but the way it did its mask was very different from all the Predators. You can tell this is a little primitive technology, the way it used its gear, the type of gear it had. It's a little bit more I don't know what the word is, not archaic or whatever, but whatever. It's not shooting lasers and sensors and beams and drones and all this crazy stuff that it's done in the future. Not that there's anything wrong with those have place in those movies, but this one is much more of a natural, primal, it's probably a better word, hunter. And it's just down on the ground with some basic stuff, and they invented a few new things that we've never seen before, new weapons and new uses of those weapons. And every time there's a new Predator movie, I like to see new stuff. I like to see new things envisioned or imagined with the Predator technology. This one does that, even though it's in a more primitive world. Humans fighting. There's one. I'll say one funny scene is where there's a few guys with their guns, their muskets, and like they all shoot at it, and then he turns and looks at them, and they all instantly start packing their powders and everything, their ramrods, trying to reload their guns. And it's just hilarious because that would have been the moment in any other movie that they just would have started unloading. Like in the first Predator, when they saw something, they were chasing the forest, he saw it, they all show up and they just like level the forest with all their guns and everything. This one didn't have exactly that moment, but that was what the joke was. They get there, they're lined up, and they're ready to start shooting, and they can't just shoot. They already used their one shot, got its attention, and then they're sitting there comically start reloading, and it's hilarious. Anyway, stuff like that. It's cute. It even did a little nod to Alien vs. Predator 2, because some of the sequences in the end fight, it was too dark, you couldn't see really what was going on. It wasn't intentional, but I was like, they apparently haven't learned completely. You got to be able to see what's going on. But again, visuals, some really cool stuff. The Predator was all in shields most of the movie, and that's what they always do, and that's great. But it wasn't just that I was walking around with the camouflage and them trying to seeing it or not seeing it. You see the glowing eyes. It didn't have any glowing eyes in this one. They did a lot of other interesting stuff where they could see it because it had been either wounded. This one got wounded quite a bit. Again, it's not quite as experienced as the other Predators are later on. And that's one thing they talk about in the canon, is that every time they come, they learn and they want to be better hunters. I think, what's his name? Whatever. Lawrence Fishburne says that in the Predators movie. It's like they learn to be better and better and better hunters. That's why the Predator movie, the newest one, when they tried to ignite the stupid franchise that now they're turning into these alien invaders, and they give them the Iron Man suit and all this stupid garbage, all this crazy, like, huge franchise, big budget movie, trying to set up this a big franchise. It's already a franchise, but trying to launch into a new series that's going to keep up with like Marvel movies or something. Didn't work because they completely broke the formula. They lost track of everything that was awesome about these movies. And this movie it went back and said, look, you don't need all that complicated crap and sci-fi stuff and fights on spaceships with shielding, cutting people in half, and the cannons blowing everyone up or whatever. You just need an intimate one-on-one battle with, you have a hero and you have the Predator. And a few people are going to get killed. You watch their discovery, trying to figure it out, and new ideas with the technology the Predator is using. That's what the Predator is good for. That's what makes it awesome. That's what makes it exciting. That's why Predator 1, Predator 2 did that same thing. It's almost the same concept, same movie twice, but you learn a little bit more. And then by the time you get to Predators, it was a whole group of them in a new situation, discovering all that stuff. And then you have a new level of the Predators, sorry, not the Predators. Then you get to the last movie and it was just complete garbage. So if anything, this movie brought it back to its roots. Very well done. A good mono-y girlo. I don't know what the opposite of a mono is. But that's what it is. It's about two people stripped down of all politics, all ambition, all missions or anything, and all they have is the agenda of fighting each other for their honor. And this whole thing with this girl and her tribe was all about her honor as a warrior. And I love the line in the beginning of the movie. She says, why do you need to prove yourself and learn how to hunt? Because she's supposed to be cooking and gathering and everything like the women of her tribe do. She says, because you guys don't think I can. That's why she wants to do it. And then she has this desire to become a hunter, having no idea that she's about to come in contact with the most ultimate hunter of the galaxy or wherever they come from. Anyway, really well done. Beautiful visuals, cool stuff with the blood on the camouflage, really good action sequences. Every action sequence was really good, except for kind of a big one in the middle with a whole bunch of guys. Some of that stuff got really cheesy, like I said, but it's fine. I wasn't emotionally invested like I am with some of the other Predator movies, but this one's fine. It was really good. I very much enjoyed it, and it tied it back together and went back to the roots of what made Predator awesome, and it was entertaining. Even with some of the cheese in there, some of it was very obvious stuff that was happening. Very, very fun and entertaining movie, and that's what Predator should be. Exciting action, good gore, a fun little story of how the person discovers the Predator and learns how to defeat the Predator. And they did that too. The infrared, the whatever vision, the way she figured it out and what she did was really well done. I didn't see it coming. How she learns how to defeat him. Besides mud, it seems like that's all they can come up with is mud, and then the crazy suits that the FBI guys or whatever wear in the second movie. But there's other ways to do it, and this movie invented a new way. I thought it was really cool. Anyway, Prey on Hulu right now. It's really good. I enjoy it. I would buy it if I see it, to buy it on Blu-ray or whatever, 4K. I don't know if I saw it. This is one I would have in my collection. I hope Hulu does put it out for distribution because I would like to have it. I collect, and I movies I appreciate, especially cinematically. And this was a good cinematic movie I want to put on the wall. Really good stuff. This is a movie that would deserve a top 7 list of shots that were just beautiful. Really good moments, really good sequences, great action, a lot of fun. That's all you need from it. So anyway, okay, that's it. Sorry, it went longer than I expected, but Prey on Hulu right now. 20th Century Fox did a really good job. Just completely ignore the last movie and the Alien vs. Predator movies and just keep this on that list of the good ones. So there you go.